There are shows with psychics,
And there are shows with doctors.
but there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
And street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight.
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
In tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
Require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic.
and the Doc. And it starts now. Ho, ho, ho. What do you know? This is The Psychic and the Doc. This is our Christmas, our holiday show. I'm Mark Anthony, JD, Psychic Explorer, here on the Transformation Network with my esteemed colleague who is my gift, not just on Christmas, but every day of the year, Dr. Pat Baccili, world-renowned behavioral psychologist. And we're wrapping up 2025. And like every year, it's been a year of great change. There have been wonderful things. There have been really painful things. And the name of this show, the theme of this show is that each ending is a new beginning. So Dr. Pat, speaking of new beginnings, you're in a new location right now, aren't you?
May I comment? I
Yes,
love
you
you.
may.
I love you, Mark.
Thanks, Dr. Pat.
And what I'm about to say is how you and I got together. You see, whatever your tradition is, or belief in spirit, or goddess, or the universe, or Jupiter, my ruling planet, whatever that is, there's something that operates outside of what we as humans can physically do. You and I are here because of that something. On a given day, Mark Anthony decides he is going to show up at the studios in Seattle. He decides he's going to do shows with me. And out of that, something happens that we still can't explain today. Why I did what I did, I do not have an explanation. That was a new beginning. Sometimes, Mark, don't you find new beginnings, if we can embrace them, are magnificent, but not everybody can do that. We do a show about grief, don't we?
We do. We do a show about grief, and grief is an ending, the ending of a physical life. Yet for the person who has transitioned, it's a new beginning into a spiritual life. For the people left behind, and that's something my mother always taught me. She was a very, very gifted medium and had a fascinating worldview on things. And my mother always told me that death is not the end, and it's only sad for those left behind. But for the one who has died, they have transformed and gone into the light. And I certainly know that, and we see that on this show every week. But this show, The Psychic and the Doc, is for those who are left behind here in this world. Because grief is really rough, or it really just drags you down. And you think it's the end, but that end opens new doors.
This is what today's show's about. Now I am in a new place. And I think this move was easier for me than it was for Linda. For those of you that know, my best friend of a lot of years, I'm not even going to say. I don't even want to say them years. I don't want to tell anybody. I don't want to know. The bottom line is, we've been friends for longer than many of you have aged. And the reason being is, again, some serendipitous weird thing. My parents moved, Linda's parents moved, we're sitting at Bell Labs, and we're looking at each other, and Linda's saying, I do not want to go to Texas. And I'm like, I do not want to pay this rent. And there we began. And, you know, we've been through the birth, the death, the loss, the change. And when you can still be friends. And last year, Linda came to my home in Seattle and helped me when I needed help, help this company. Can I talk about Linda for a minute in a different way?
I want you to, because the people that are in our lives are gifts. And you've been a gift to Linda. She is a gift to you. And we talk about Linda a lot, but nobody really knows much
No,
about her. So, Dr.
no.
Pat, please tell us about Linda.
This is a new beginning for Linda, too. Even though this has been her home, being away from here gives you time to reflect. It gives you time to think. And, Seattle, if it wasn't for the rain and the gray skies, and I got to tell you, folks, my heart goes out to you all. What you're going through right now with the floods, I can't even imagine. But I know Mark and I sincerely send you lots of prayers and blessings. But in the
Yes.
world, change is inevitable. My boss used to tell me that. And then I said to him, "Is that why you got the toupee?" Okay, dude, really? But this has been harder, I think, on Linda to come back. She reclaimed her space here. She has a beautiful home. It was left beautifully for her to come back to. And I walked in here and I said to Linda, "This feels like home." I said, "Linda, this is beautiful. The energy here is amazing." Now, it's going to take Linda more time than me because once you've been homeless, as I have, when you walk into a space like this and your best friend says this can be your home, oh, geez, am I going to cry already? What are we, like 5 minutes into the show? I walked in, Mark, and I said, "Thank you, God." And I said, "This is beautiful." So it's not like I was leaving something. I was coming to something to now support my best friend. If Linda wants to pack everything up tomorrow and move to Scotia, where's Scotia? Where's that, Mark? Illinois, Scotia? I don't know.
Probably Scotia, for all our
Kenosha.
friends in
I don't know.
Scotia.
Scotia. Oh, please. You folks in Ohio or whatever I just killed, I'm sorry. Apologize. I'm going to do it. But right now, we're in a beautiful, very cold place, 2 hour delay in the snow. And she lives in a beautiful area. But here's Mark, what they don't know. Who are you going to call when things go upside down? Rocky knows. Every host on the planet knows. Our producers know. Every PR company out there knows. Every guest for the Dr. Pat knows. Linda, she is the glue. She knows how to get it done. And she is one of the backbone infrastructures of the company, along with
Yes.
Jessica, Sierra, Emily. How did it get any better than that? So my new beginning is not just about this, but we have a new beginning about the company, which is going to start on the 20th of this month. Lots of press releases, lots of things going out, expansion of channel, our own Human Potential podcast channel, where people will be able to have membership and upload their videos and their audio. Is that a new beginning or not?
Oh, absolutely, it is. And for everyone, please go to the website. The new Transformation Network website is absolutely beautiful. We were updating it on my website because before, it would take you to where you can listen, but now it goes to the main domain of Transformation Network, and it's just absolutely stunning. In fact, the IT people working on my website said, "Man, that Transformation Network site, it's just really beautiful." So that's awesome. And I want to give a shout out to Linda as well, because Linda's always polite, professional. She works with Rocky and I on and Dr. Pat, of course, on developing the themes for the shows, because every week our show has a theme. as it should. And this one is that each ending is a new beginning, because this is, we're coming down to the end of the year, and a lot of times people get caught up in what they've lost, or what they think they no longer have, instead of looking at it as a new beginning. The Western writer Louis L'Amour, he said, there will come a time when you believe everything is finished. That will be the beginning. And that's how we need to look at these things. I'd like to give a shout out to Rocky.
Me too.
Rocky, yeah, she's not just one of the producers on the show. She's my business manager. She schedules my TV, film, major public appearances, and she travels with me on my speaking tours. And Rocky's awesome because she's adventure girl. I mean, one night we're at a black tie affair and we're dressed to the nines. The next we're hiking through mountains, Central American jungles. We've been in deserts examining archaeological ruins, and then there we are here on the with Dr. Pat, and then in TV studios, and she always has something positive and to say, and is very resourceful. And the thing is, Dr. Pat and I are the ones that people see, because we're the ones that are out there, but behind us are a lot of really great people. And so, Rocky, I want to thank you for that. In fact, I'm working. Rocky figures prominently in my books and in the articles that I write for Best Holistic Life magazine, and I've written a number of articles that feature Rocky, like the mermaid of Mystic Mountain, which was an amazing story. I'm working on a story now about angels, which will be in the April edition of Best Holistic Life, and so having people like Rocky and Linda make all the difference in the world.
Yeah,
Also want to
yeah,
thank Sierra and
yeah,
Jessica and Emily. The three of you ladies really are hopping and popping and make TTN work and happen. And you're our foundation and pillars of strength. So
yeah,
many times we have to look, Christmas, people think it's all about gifts. Yes, it is. But the most important gift is the gift of each other.
yeah.
And what's that song? All I want for Christmas. I'm not even gonna try to sing that one. All I
Oh
want
my
for
God, you
Christmas
don't
is
even
you.
want me to sing. I think Sierra has heard me sing. I am so bad, but I do like to sing. All I want for Christmas is what? My two front teeth. I remember that.
Yeah, I heard that on the radio, and I heard Nat King Cole's version. All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth. And that's a
Oh
great
my
song
God.
for a little kid, when kids are losing their teeth and that. And Christmas music. I hear a lot of people, I can't handle Christmas music, man. Well, get a life. It's
Really?
positive, it's happy, it's bubbly, and it's only a month.
Who
Okay, then
said
you can
that?
yeah, then you can go back to your headbangy or your depressing or your whatever music. But the thing is, Christmas music, it transports us into
Mm,
a mind state. And most of the Christmas songs, it's about home, it's about family. There may be some about loss. And of course, there's, the ones about Santa and the religious ones, but they all are, it's beautiful music, it's uplifting. And what's wrong with it? What's wrong with feeling
yeah,
good?
yeah. I had a car ride back from a friend of a friend. I don't want to go into the details of this, but I just want to say this. I'm going to do a show, and I began to call the episode, Murphy's Law, Whatever Will Go Wrong. I was going to name the show, Whatever Will Go Wrong Went Perfectly Right for Me on December 14th. Because in the world that I just came from, I can't explain in human terms the angels that showed up, when they showed up, how they showed up, and what happened. Jessica, what a trooper, helped us all week long. And I had a situation. But here's what I want to say. I showed up yesterday, and I'm telling you, I don't know, Sierra, what I look like, but I had an important show to do. And I realized I didn't have what I needed to do the show. But you know who had my back? Sierra. And as we went through the show, I followed the script from the host. Sierra had to give me the question. And then when the host said, to Sierra, did you play that? Sierra's like, oh, yes. I played that. I brought up that picture. Then I had this one in between you. I put this one here, that one there. But then I took it down and at the end, and then I brought in the other photo you wanted. And do you know, I had no idea what she was talking about, but I trusted her impeccably with that. When you're working with people and you don't have to work with that level of detail and they have got your back, Sierra, I'm enormously grateful. And I've worked with Emily. Emily doesn't get quite the complex shows. I guess Sierra runs most of my shows. I don't know. But Emily's the same way. And as we move forward, when you look at this team, somebody made a comment to me. Here's what they said. Can I say it the way they said it? I won't cuss.
Okay.
All right. What's up with you? And what do you mean? Don't you have any men? I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody's a woman. I said, oh, I didn't realize that. You don't hire men? I said, yeah, we do, but they don't stay. In the end, we hire the people that want to be here and love this. The other day, we were on a call, and Emily says, I love this job. See, you're surrounded with people. Rocky is the backbone for you.
Yes.
I said to Linda, next year when I go out, can you do what Rocky does? Linda says, no, pay Rocky to do it.
Well, they all have their own skill sets, and
Linda can't handle one more thing, actually, with our group.
well,
But
yeah, it's like, we all have these heavy things that we carry. I don't want to call them burdens; they're responsibilities. And Dr. Pat and I look at it's not a responsibility. We look at the show as a ministry. And this is our
exactly.
ministry. And what Dr. Pat said, what you said earlier is, we work with people in grief, because grief is about an ending, but also a new beginning. What I've seen time and time again on this program and in my work as a medium is the death of a loved one is very crushing, but then it opens up new doors. It opens up choices for the person who lost the loved one. The choice is how you wish or how you choose to respond to the death of a loved one. You can get angry and at the entire world and vengeful. You can turn to drugs and alcohol to try to dull the pain. And I can tell you right now, that never has a happy ending. Or you can begin to expand and explore your spirituality. And I'd say the vast majority of people who call into the show, that's what they're doing. They want to know that life continues beyond the physical. They want to know what they can do to increase their own spiritual connections. Dr. Pat, what do you say we take a quick break and then we'll come back and continue our discussion about each ending is a new beginning?
Can we talk about some of the weirdest holiday traditions? And one of my favorite comes from, stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Hey, listen, it's a special holiday show. I mean, Mark and I, we got to try to stop laughing right now during the break. But before we go on, Mark, you do something phenomenal. You are so busy around the holiday season. You're meeting with people, you're helping people. What is the best way for people to know how to get on your calendar? And if they can't get on your calendar, how to kind of find out where you're going?
Absolutely, because we got a bunch of things coming up in 2026. The best thing to do is to go to my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com. You can find out about scheduling an appointment with me. There's a tab for that. Please sign up for the newsletter. We send out newsletters roughly once a week. I try. I tell my staff, don't inundate people with newsletters. People don't want junk mail. And so when we send out the newsletter, it keeps people up to date. We've got the Spirit Fest in Port St. Lucie, Florida on January 10th and 11th. And my friend and fellow, if you will, TV personality Jim Vieira is going to be there. Also, Mary Ellen Popick, who is a host on TTN Transformation Network. She's got a show on our network here. She is the coordinator. She's the head honcho of Spirit Fest, and she's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really great. You can find out about all of that by signing up for my newsletter at afterlifefrequency.com. And yeah, the holidays are tough because it can remind us of what we don't have, who's no longer in our life, and it can be very sad for a lot of people. But what Dr. Pat and I have been teaching, and we've been talking about this quite a bit lately, is replacing grief with gratitude. This is another form of an ending turning into a new beginning. When you start getting overcome with grief of I lost my child, I lost my life partner, I lost my parents, or whoever it is, whoever that significant person is, I lost my pet. When that grief begins to overcome you, replace it with gratitude that I am so lucky I had that person in my life. I'm so lucky I was his father. I'm so lucky I was her brother. I'm so lucky I was my parents' son. And we all know that life has an expiration, physical life has an expiration date, and we have to be grateful for the people that we're grieving, because the reason we're grieving, you grieve as deeply as you have loved. And so grief is the price of love. And instead of allowing the grief to suck us down into that tar pit of misery, be grateful that your heart has been filled with love for that person. And also
Mhm.
to realize that your relationship's gone from one of a physical nature to now one of a spiritual nature. So, Dr. Pat, that's one of the ways that endings for me transform into new beginnings.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. When we arrived, and I don't want to share too much about this, but I know this trip back was Linda for a lot of familiar reasons. And here's the lesson I'm learning. It's very easy for me to go to gratitude because I've got 35 going on 36 years of sobriety. And if you have had the sponsors I have had, they're going to lick smack you into understanding if you can't get to gratitude, you're going to pick up cigarette butts and clean the alleyways until your fingers bleed. Now, that's an overstatement, but that's how it felt in my first 2 years of sobriety. But here's what I've learned: you have to allow people to get there. It's great to have reminders. And Linda really pushed back on me about this, and I'm grateful she did. And I said something kind of stupid. I said, Linda, can you find a little gratitude? She didn't say the F word, but it was more like, I can't get there. And she's right. People have to get there. But the way you described it isn't about gratitude. It's about taking a baby step to appreciate something. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be about those that have harmed you. It doesn't have to be about politics. Instead of politics, think about the country we live in. If you were in a country where my friend lives, no way would we be able to even have a conversation and say the word politics without the police showing up on your door.
Yeah.
But now we're going to talk about some fun things. Now, Mark, do you have a country that has your favorite tradition?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's got to be Italy, because yeah, my mom's family's from Italy. It's funny, even though my dad's family's from they're of English heritage. My dad said it's like when you marry into an Italian family, the DNA like takes over. um, what I really cherish is the way the Italian not New Year's, Christmas Eve special Christmas Eve dinner, the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Now my mom, she could do
Um,
that, but generally she said, "Oh, I don't want to make all seven fishes," but she would steam shrimp. She'd have
um,
crab claws. We would drink, well, back then we would drink white wine or sparkling, club soda with that, and
mhm.
we'd have cannolis for dessert. And
Oh,
and there was candles, candlelight, Christmas lights, and it was really just a beautiful time for the family to get together. And it turned into that's when we would begin to open up our presents was Christmas Eve. Now Christmas
Yeah.
Day, that was the big feast. That was the
Oh my
manja
gosh.
manja. Oh my God. And I'll never
All
forget
day. All day though, right, Mark? All
all
day.
day, all
All
day.
day.
I was really horrified. I was a little kid, and not a little kid. I was in junior high school, and I had these neighbors that were real hardcore Southern, and I have no problem with Southern people, but the mother who claimed that she was such a good Christian, one time she goes, "Oh, what are you having for Christmas dinner? Pizza pie." And they all were laughing at me, and I'm looking at these people, and I'm thinking, yeah, they're gonna have some dried out turkey and some greasy ham. Meanwhile, my mom was making brajol, which is meat that's
Oh,
stuffed in artichoke, stuffed
oh,
artichokes and mushrooms and baked ziti and an antipasto and then
garlic.
all sorts of Italian cookies. And I was like, yeah, enjoy your greasy ham and your dried out
Mm,
turkey. I'm going and eating a real feast. And the thing is, you're going to encounter people whose ethnic and cultural backgrounds are different than yours. Instead of making fun of them and making jokes about it, why don't you be open minded about it? Okay. If you know somebody that, oh, that sounds weird what they do on Christmas or New Year's or Hanukkah or whatever, listen to what they do, because the thing is, that's part of life. Life is a journey, it's a road, it's a destination. It's not a one lane highway. And along the way, you encounter people, you encounter experiences. Food is part of culture. I love what Dolly Parton, and I'm going to honor a true Southern lady who said, if you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. And Dr. Pat, that's what you did. You said you're 35 years sober. Well, obviously, you didn't like drunk and drive. So you went on to Sobriety Parkway, okay? And having worked with addicts my entire life, particularly when I was practicing law, because I did a lot. It is not easy. It is not easy. Recidivism, falling off the proverbial wagon, is very common. And I've known Dr. Pat a long time, and she's always sharp as a tack. And the thing is, every day is a challenge. And but as Winston Churchill said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. So, for everybody who is struggling, whether it's addiction to alcohol or food or smoking or whatever, you got to realize, you're going to be tempted. And if you fail for a while, you get back up and you get back on Sobriety Parkway.
I love it. You know, being Italian and now learning on Brazil, but the sobriety part of this, the hardest part about sobriety early on were the holidays, the 4th of July, and then they weren't anymore. But if you're going to talk about the Italian, let's do one last thing and then we'll go to another country. When you grow up with the grandma with the black shoes, the whole spiel, grandma, there's a character like Santa that comes in January, and the character looks like your grandma, and the character is Bafana,
Yeah.
and Bafana is the good witch,
Yes.
and the good witch it comes to the bambini through the chimney. Now, if you're a child and you look at this thing, you're going to say, "I'm scared." But the heart and the soul of it is beautiful. And by the way, Mark, to your point, the Brazilians have a massive feast.
Oh yeah.
So, in this world, celebration is the word. It's not who does it better. But I got to
Oh,
tell you, I have a favorite, shocking favorite, Japan.
Merry Christmasu. That's how you say Merry Christmas in
Kentucky
Japanese.
Fried Chicken. Their
Yes.
Santa is the Colonel.
Hey,
I
all
love
right.
it.
Let me tell you, I've spent a fair amount of time in Japan, and Merry Christmasu. Now, if there's not a Japanese word for something, in other words, if it's a foreign word, if you put zu on the end of it, it turns it into Japanese. And that's where Merry Christmasu comes from. and they like American food. Ironically, stomach cancer and colon cancer were virtually unknown until after the introduction of American fast food in
Yeah.
Japan. So, but that being said, all right, so fried chicken and Colonel Sanders. This is a foreign custom, but the thing about Japan is it's religiously perhaps the most tolerant country in the world. Now the Japanese are very precise about things and their precision, their engineering skills, their dedication. But in Japan, it's socially acceptable and even kind of the norm to be a member of more than one religion. You can be a Buddhist. You can be a Shinto, and Shintoism is a uniquely Japanese religion, a belief system which believes in the kami, Kami, and their spirits that are in different areas. My study of them indicate that they're most likely elementals. But anyway, I could get into that. But you can also be a Christian as well. And so that's why they'll celebrate Japanese holidays, Buddhist holidays, Christmas
I
holidays.
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's this amalgam. So I think Japan's pretty cool, and to me that was very fascinating to do that. Then there's countries like Saudi Arabia that make a Christmas tree or a Bible illegal and punishable by imprisonment. And basically, look, get over it, okay? We live in a world with a world economy, with world cultures. There's going to be different ideas, different cultures, and you don't inspire people philosophically through torture and oppression. You bring them up to a higher level. That's what I've seen in my travels around the world.
Now, my friend in Austria, if you think a lump of coal in your stocking is like a bad thing, think again, people. Austria will scare the you know what out of you. They have a folklore of an evil horned creature, part goat, part demon, named Krampus or
Yes.
Krampus if you're America. And you go to Krampusnacht, and this is an evil looking, punishing children. He comes in the bathtub. My worst nightmare ever since Nightmare on Elm Street. Comes in the bathtub, hellish hair, like woo, like crazy, right? Australians honor the legend on holiday cards. They dress up as the monster on the eve of December 5th.
Yeah.
And my Australia friends this year had a blast. You see, all of these traditions are so cool. Now, if you don't want to get really bad pastries, do not go to Spain to celebrate Spain, because Spain, what they do is, and I got it. My friend from Spain, I know a lot of people because of the show, right? It's like, I'm going to send you like December 28th. I'm going to send you the day of the Holy Innocents. I'm going to send you pastry. I said, no, you're not, because I know that holiday. You're not going to send them. I said, I had a host send them. Spain treats us like April Fool's Day, and bakers hold up their tradition by making salty cakes using salt instead of sugar. And they
Wow.
play, I mean, see, over here, we're all about just love and holy. These other countries, they're having a blast, right?
Yes. Yes. Let's go back to Krampus. In
So,
Austria, they speak German, and of course in Germany they speak German. And Frohe Weihnacht is how pretty much you say Merry Christmas in German. Now, when you said December 5th, that's when Krampus comes. December 6th is the feast of Saint Nicholas. And so what the children do in Germany and Austria, and it's spread to Holland, is they put their shoes out or their stockings. This is where we get the whole thing about stockings. And if you're good, you will get chocolates and coins in your stockings and shoes. And if you're bad, then you get the lump of coal. And that's where Krampus comes in. So it's another motivation. But in my research about Santa Claus, Santa Claus is based on St. Nicholas. He was the bishop of Myra, which is in modern day Turkey in the 4th century, which is the 300s. Okay. And at that time, the Turks hadn't arrived on the scene from Asia, so it was a Greek speaking area. And Nicholas was a young man from an affluent family, and he gave up being he didn't want to pursue a life of materialism. He was drawn to the spiritual. Um, but he heard about, and as a young man, he converted to Christianity, and he was a priest at this time. And he heard about a family, this husband and wife who had three daughters, and they were so poor that they couldn't afford their daughter's dowry, so they were faced with the horrible prospect of selling their daughters into slavery. Now, this is a different world back then, and
Yeah.
girls, the women traditionally have had a really rough time in history, and even more so then. And he was horrified when he heard about this. So the night before, according to legend, he snuck up to their house with 3 bags of gold and threw them through the window. Well, the bags of gold hit the hearth above the fireplace, where the family's stockings and shoes were being dried, and one of the bags burst, and the gold coins fell on the stockings and the shoes. Over the centuries, this became how St. Nicholas, which eventually became Santa Claus, comes down the chimney. And this is why in European countries, children put their shoes out and their stockings on December 6th, because we don't know when St. Nicholas was born, but we know that's the day that he passed. And so
Mm.
these Christmas traditions that we have, like the stockings and the shoes, is based, as far as we can tell, on a real event. And then over the centuries, it turned into Santa Claus mystically coming down the chimney to fill stockings and shoes. And then, the Germans came up with the Christmas tree, which is a symbol of everlasting life. And we could do the whole show on Christmas traditions, but I'll just give that tidbit there.
I love it. So, have you ever had a Christmas tradition you didn't know what you were getting? And see, I'm so naive. People don't know how naive I am. I really am. And so my Sam Hammond was my table tennis coach early on when I was 19, 20, right? He's from Africa. And he said to me one day, and broken accent, come on, let's go to New York. Da 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 da. I'm going to treat you to our feast. So we go, and he takes me to this hole in the wall. In New York, if it's a hole in the wall, the food is great. And we go in, and he orders a bunch of things, and they come out. And I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. I said to him, Sam, so French fries? That's what your French fries, because out came what looked like French fries. Now Sam was a little prankster too, and he just laughed. He says, yeah, pot, French fries. Okay. I sat and I ate an entire bowl of the Christmas caterpillar, a deep fried imperial moth caterpillar, because it looked like French fries and the place was dark, and I thought they were French fries.
Was
And
it
I
good?
remember and they were delicious. And then I found out what they were like 2 days later. Fried caterpillars. Look them up. They totally look like French fries where I went from. But you see, isn't this part of the beauty of life?
It's an experience. It's an
Yeah. And by the way,
experience.
Sam Hammond taught me how to spin a ball faster than most people were spinning it then. And to this day, I can still do it. He was such a gift to me. Now, Mark, one of these days, we're going to all go to Mexico for Christmas
Okay.
or Latin America. Los Posados, the reenactment of Mary and Joseph's search for lodging with songs and parties. And I mean, party on. What's
Why
your,
not? Yeah.
I know,
I'm sorry, you were about to ask me a question.
what's your favorite?
Favorite Christmas song? Oh, wow. I have a lot of them. As a kid, I always like Hark the Herald Angels Sing. I also like Let It Snow, which is weird because I grew up in Florida, but I like the imagery that it created. And my mother's favorite Christmas song, which I have to agree with, Oh Holy Night. And let me tell
Oh,
you, for that song to be performed properly, you need somebody who really has a vocal range. It is such a beautiful song. Um, but most of the Christmas songs I mean, Alvin and the Chipmunks I can kind of do without. But I like
Oh,
them because
Mark.
it's uplifting. Sorry, that one gets me.
So John Lennon, I don't know what it was about John Lennon, but the minute he opens his mouth, there's something. And I remember, I can't remember the song. So this is Christmas, da 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 da.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Christmas. What have you done? Another year over, a new one begun. Something. Yeah, yeah.
Makes you cry.
It does.
Makes you cry. But this is a time for us to step back. I was listening to someone, and I have to tell you, the political conversations here are more prominent than the Seattle area, because this is a state where there are diverse of opinions. But the one theme I heard just in riding over here, and today from the plumber that just fixed Linda's sink, was, why can't we just have a conversation? Why are we so divided over something that many people don't have control over? Why can't we have a conversation about how we're so much alike, about how together we can create a positive? I've listened to a plumber and a limo driver, and I'm in New Jersey 2 days talking about that. How grateful it is to be here, because while the state is divided, Democratic governor, I think, just got elected. I apologize, New Jersey, I'm not on top of things. But the people here want to bring people together. And they're not like where I came from or where I lived in Western Washington. But that is the theme, Mark. That's what we do, isn't it?
It is. It is. And for everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean our audience, you are our gift. And we're here to provide a safe space for you to express your grief, your feelings, your thoughts. And that's what Dr. Pat and I are going to keep doing. And so we look forward. This is our last show of 2025. So 1 year is ending, and we are looking for a new year to begin. And let's all hope that this year brings everyone inner peace, good health, prosperity, and of course, peace.
And for those of you out there, Mark and I are committed to starting the 1 year, which 2026 is, in service of all of you, helping you through your struggles, your challenges, maybe even putting a smile on your face. But it is our ministry, Mark, as you've said. Thank you so much for everything.
Good night, everybody. And I like to cover everybody, so please have a Merry Ramahana Badi Diwali Kwanzmas. Good night.
Good night.
Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning into The Psychic in the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.